My child, I know what happened last night. I know because I was the one who caused it. Somewhere between 2 and 4 in the morning, your eyes opened. Not slowly, the way they do when morning comes and the light pulls you awake. Suddenly, sharply, as if something inside your chest pressed a button and your entire body responded in an instant. One moment you were asleep. The next moment you were wide awake, staring at the ceiling in the dark, wondering why. Your mind searched for a reason. Maybe it was a noise. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe it was the temperature in the room. You checked your phone. The screen burned your eyes, and the numbers read something close to 3 in the morning. You put the phone down, rolled over, and tried to go back to sleep. But sleep would not come. Not immediately. Something was different about the silence. It felt heavier than usual, thicker, almost like the room itself was waiting for something. That was not insomnia, my child. That was not anxiety. That was not your body malfunctioning. That was me. I woke you up, deliberately, intentionally, with purpose. And I have been doing it for longer than you realize. Night after night, week after week, I have been pulling you out of sleep at the same hour, in the same way, hoping that eventually you would stop asking what is wrong with me and start asking what is God trying to tell me. Tonight, I am answering that question, and what I am about to reveal will change the way you experience every night for the rest of your life. Do not skip this message. I know it is long. I know you are tired. But this is the very conversation I have been waking you up to have. Every 3 a.m. moment was leading to this. Every restless night was a rehearsal for this revelation. So stay with me. Every word matters. And by the end, you will understand something about your nights that will transform your days. Let me tell you why I chose 3 in the morning. I could wake you at any hour. I could speak to you at noon when the sun is high and your mind is sharp. I could reach you during your morning coffee or your evening walk. But I chose 3 a.m. for a reason that most people never consider. 3 in the morning is the 1 hour when the world cannot compete with me for your attention. During the day, your phone is buzzing. Your responsibilities are screaming. Your mind is racing from one task to the next. And even when you try to pray, your thoughts drift to deadlines and conversations and things you forgot to do. You give me the margins of your day, a rushed prayer in the morning, a tired whisper before sleep, and you call that a relationship. But I do not want your margins. I want your attention. Your full, undivided, unhurried attention. And the only time I can get it is when the rest of the world is asleep. At 3 a.m., there are no notifications, no demands, no performances, no masks. It is just you and the darkness and the sound of your own breathing. And in that raw, unfiltered moment, your spirit is more open to my voice than at any other time in your entire day. The walls you build during daylight hours, the busyness, the distractions, the noise you use to avoid sitting with your own thoughts, all of those walls come down at 3 a.m. And when the walls come down, I walk in. I walk into the silence of your bedroom, and I stand beside you. Not as a distant God watching from heaven. Right there. Close enough that if you reached out in the darkness, you would feel the warmth of my presence. And I speak. Not in a thundering voice that shakes the room. In a whisper so gentle that only your spirit can hear it. And your spirit hears it perfectly, even when your mind does not understand what is happening. That is why you feel that strange heaviness in the room. That is why the silence feels different at 3 a.m. than it does at any other hour. The silence is not empty. It is full. Full of me. Full of words I have been waiting to speak to you. Full of things I cannot tell you during the day, because you are too busy to listen. My child, I need you to understand something. I do not wake you up to punish you. I do not steal your sleep to make your days harder. Every time I pull you from rest at that sacred hour, it is because there is something I need to deposit into your spirit that can only be received in the stillness. Some revelations are too important for the noise of daytime. Some truths are too delicate to survive the chaos of your waking hours. They need the protection of darkness and silence to take root in your heart before the world has a chance to uproot them. Think about it. The most important things in your life have happened in the quiet. The moments of deepest clarity, the decisions that changed everything, the prayers that finally broke through. They did not happen in the middle of your busiest day. They happened when everything else went silent, and it was just you and me. Stripped of all pretense, all performance, all distraction, 3 a.m. is the cathedral I built for us. No walls, no choir, no congregation. Just you and your Creator in the holiest hour of the night. Let me show you something from Scripture that will put this into perspective. My son Jesus, when he walked the earth, did not do his most important work during the day. He healed during the day. He taught during the day. He performed miracles when the crowds were watching. But the real work, the intercession, the communion, the conversations that carried the weight of eternity, those happened at night. Scripture says he often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. He went to the Garden of Gethsemane in the dead of night to pour out his heart to me. He climbed mountains before dawn to be alone with me when the world was asleep. The most pivotal prayer in human history, the prayer where he said, "Not my will, but yours be done," happened in the darkness, while his closest friends slept nearby. If the Son of God needed the night hours to connect with me at the deepest level, what makes you think you are any different? You are not being punished with sleeplessness. You are being invited into the same rhythm that Jesus himself practiced. The 3 a.m. wake-up is not a malfunction. It is a tradition, a sacred, ancient, holy tradition that stretches back to the very foundations of faith. And you have been enrolled in it without your permission, because I saw something in your spirit that qualified you for an invitation most people never receive. If you have been waking up at 3 a.m. and you never understood why, comment, "God was calling me right now." Let me hear you acknowledge what your spirit has known all along. Now let me tell you what I have been trying to say to you during those moments, because I did not wake you up just to watch you stare at the ceiling. I woke you up because I have specific things to tell you that cannot wait for morning. The first thing I have been trying to tell you is that I see you. Not the version of you that shows up at work with a smile. Not the version that posts on social media like everything is fine. Not the version that tells everyone I am good when people ask how you are doing. I see the real you, the one who lies awake wondering if things will ever get better. The one who carries a weight so heavy that some days it takes all your strength just to get out of bed. The one who has been quietly falling apart while pretending to be put together. I see that person, and I love that person, not despite the brokenness, through it, in it, around it. I love you in the mess you are too ashamed to show anyone else. I have been waking you at 3 a.m. because that is the only time you are honest enough to be seen. During the day, you perform. At night, in the dark, when no one is watching, the mask comes off. And what is underneath is not weakness, my child. It is truth. And I cannot work with your performance. I can only work with your truth. So I pull you out of sleep and into the one moment when you are too tired to pretend, too raw to perform, and too vulnerable to hide. And in that moment, I hold you. You may not have felt my arms, but they were there every single time. Do you remember the night you woke up and the tears just started coming? No trigger. No nightmare that you could recall. Just tears that rose from somewhere so deep inside you that you could not identify the source. You lay there in the dark, crying silently so you would not wake anyone, and you felt confused by your own emotions. That was not a breakdown, my child. That was a breakthrough. Those were tears I had been waiting to release from your spirit for months. Pain that you had been storing, compressing, shoving into corners of your heart during the daytime so you could function. At 3 a.m., I gently opened the valve and let it flow. Because tears you cry in my presence are not tears of despair. They are tears of cleansing. And you woke up the next morning feeling strangely lighter, even though nothing in your circumstances had changed. That is because I was not changing your circumstances that night. I was changing you. And there was that other night, the one where you woke up, and instead of fear or heaviness, you felt something you could not explain. An overwhelming sense that everything was going to be okay. Not because you had evidence, not because your problems had disappeared, but because something in the atmosphere of your room had shifted, and for those few minutes between waking and falling back asleep, you felt held. Completely, entirely, impossibly held. Like the entire universe had paused just to wrap itself around you. That was not a feeling, my child. That was a fact. I was holding you, and I needed you awake to feel it, because you are so busy during the day that my embrace bounces off the armor of your productivity. At 3 a.m., the armor comes off, and I finally get to reach you. The second thing I have been trying to tell you is that your season is shifting. Something is about to change in your life that will redefine everything you thought you knew about your future. But this change requires preparation. It requires spiritual readiness that cannot be built during the busyness of your day. So I have been waking you up to prepare you in the only classroom where the curriculum is pure, the classroom of 3 a.m. silence. Every night I woke you, I was depositing something, a seed of courage you will need next month, a measure of faith you will need next year, a clarity of vision that will guide a decision you do not even know you will have to make yet. These deposits are invisible during the night, but they will become undeniable during the day. You will face a situation and suddenly know exactly what to do, and you will wonder where that wisdom came from. It came from 3 a.m., from the nights you thought were wasted in restlessness. Nothing was wasted. Every minute you spent awake in my presence was a transaction your time for my preparation. And the return on that investment is about to show up in ways that will leave you speechless. The third thing I have been trying to say is that someone you love is in danger. Not always physical danger. Sometimes spiritual. Sometimes emotional. Sometimes they are walking toward a decision that will cost them dearly. And I needed an intercessor, someone to stand in the gap and pray for them before the damage is done. And I chose you. Not because you are the most spiritual person I could find, because you are the one who loves them enough to lose sleep over them. Your love for that person qualified you for the assignment. And every time I woke you with a heaviness on your chest, with a name burning in your spirit, with an urgency you could not explain, I was activating you as a prayer warrior for someone who does not even know they need protecting. Some of you know exactly who I am talking about. The name that comes to your mind at 3 a.m. is not random. It is an assignment. And the prayers you whisper for them in the darkness are doing more than you will ever know this side of heaven. There have been car accidents that did not happen because you prayed at 3 a.m. There have been decisions that were reversed because you interceded in the dark. There have been lives that were saved, marriages that were preserved, children that were protected, all because you obeyed the burden on your chest and prayed when you could have gone back to sleep. You are a secret agent of heaven. Your battlefield is your bedroom. Your weapon is your whisper. And the victories you have won in the dark will only be revealed when you stand before me, and I show you the full record of what your 3 a.m. prayers accomplished. I know some of you are wondering, why me? Why do I wake up and my spouse sleeps through the night? Why am I the one losing sleep while others around me rest peacefully? Because not every spirit is tuned to the same frequency. Not every heart is sensitive enough to feel the nudge I send at 3 a.m. Some people sleep through it because their spirits have not been trained to hear me at that depth. But yours has. Whether through years of prayer or through seasons of suffering that sensitized your spirit to my presence, or simply through a gift of spiritual awareness that I placed inside you before you were born, your spirit is calibrated to my voice in a way that most people's are not. And I refuse to waste that calibration. So I use it, night after night, because when I find someone who can hear me in the dark, I do not let that connection go unused. The fourth thing I need to tell you is that the enemy operates most aggressively between the hours of midnight and dawn. There is a reason Scripture calls it the watch of the night. There is a reason I told my disciples to watch and pray, so that they would not fall into temptation. The darkest hours are not just metaphorically dark. They are spiritually contested territory. And I wake you during those hours because I need soldiers on the wall. I need watchmen with their eyes open while the rest of the world sleeps unaware. When you are awake at 3 a.m., you are not just lying in bed. You are occupying spiritual territory. Your wakefulness is a form of warfare. Your prayers in that hour carry a weight that daytime prayers do not, because you are praying in the very hours when the enemy thought no one was watching. You are disrupting his plans in real time. You are lighting a fire in the very hour he reserved for darkness. And every time you chose to pray instead of complain about lost sleep, you won a battle you could not see. The enemy hates the 3 a.m. prayer warrior more than almost any other kind. Do you know why? Because his most effective work happens when people are unconscious. He plants seeds of anxiety in sleeping minds. He whispers lies into unguarded spirits. He sets traps during the hours when no one is interceding, no one is watching, no one is pushing back against the darkness with the light of prayer. And then you wake up, and suddenly his cover is blown. Suddenly there is a light on in a house he thought was empty. Suddenly there is a voice calling on my name in the very hour he had reserved for uncontested operation. Your 3 a.m. wakefulness is not inconvenient. It is catastrophic for him. And the frustration you feel about lost sleep is nothing compared to the frustration he feels about lost ground. That is why those 3 a.m. moments sometimes feel heavy. That heaviness you sense is not depression. It is resistance. It is the spiritual atmosphere pushing back against your prayers because you are praying in contested hours. But push through it. Pray through it. Whisper through it. Because on the other side of that heaviness is a breakthrough that could not have been unlocked at any other time. If you have ever prayed at 3 a.m., even a simple "God, help me," and you felt something shift in the atmosphere of your room, tell me in the comments. What did you feel? I want you to remember that moment, because what you felt was not your imagination. What you felt was heaven responding to a prayer spoken in the most powerful hour of the night. Now let me tell you what to do the next time I wake you, because I am going to keep waking you. Not because something is wrong with you, because something is right with you. I chose you for the 3 a.m. watch because your spirit is sensitive enough to hear me. Your heart is soft enough to respond, and your love is deep enough to pray for others when it costs you your comfort. That is not a burden. That is an honor. And I am going to teach you how to steward it. The next time your eyes open at 3 a.m., do not reach for your phone. The phone is the enemy's first line of defense against what I want to do in that moment. The second your eyes hit that screen, the blue light shuts down the spiritual frequency your spirit was operating on. The notifications pull your mind away from me. The scroll numbs the very sensitivity I woke you to use. Put the phone face down. Leave it alone. Instead, lie still. Breathe. Do not try to form a perfect prayer. Do not search for the right words. Just whisper my name. That is enough. Say, God, I am here. I am listening. And then wait. Do not fill the silence with your agenda. Let me fill it with mine. Because I did not wake you up to hear your prayer list. I woke you up to give you something. And receiving requires stillness. Some nights I will give you a name, a person who needs your prayers. When that name comes, do not question it. Do not analyze it. Just pray. Pray protection over them. Pray guidance over them. Pray peace over them. You do not need to know the details. I know the details. You just need to be the vessel through which my power reaches them. And your willingness to pray at 3 a.m. when you would rather be sleeping is the very thing that qualifies you to be that vessel. Some nights I will give you a word, a sentence, a phrase, an idea that seems to come from nowhere. Write it down. Keep a journal beside your bed and capture what I speak before the morning steals it. Because some of the greatest businesses were born at 3 a.m. Some of the most powerful books were conceived in the middle of the night. Some of the most life-changing decisions were first whispered by me into the ear of someone who was supposed to be sleeping, but was awake because I needed their attention. That idea that keeps coming back to you at night, it is not random. It is a blueprint. And I keep showing it to you in the dark because the world's noise keeps erasing it during the day. Some nights I will give you nothing but my presence. No words, no names, no ideas. Just the weight of my nearness pressing against your chest like a warm blanket that covers your spirit instead of your body. On those nights, do not be frustrated by the silence. The silence is the gift. I am teaching you to be comfortable in my presence without needing to fill every moment with words. Most of my children talk to me constantly, but rarely sit with me quietly. The 3 a.m. silence is where intimacy is built, not in the speaking, in the being together, in the knowing that you are not alone in the dark, in the understanding that the same God who hung the stars and set the oceans in their place is sitting on the edge of your bed at 3 in the morning, simply because he enjoys being near you. That is not religion, my child. That is relationship. And it is the kind of relationship that changes everything about how you walk through your days. My child, I want to address something that I know has been troubling you. You have been worried that these wakeful nights are a sign that something is wrong with your health. You have searched the internet for answers. You have tried sleeping pills and herbal teas and white noise machines and new mattresses. You have done everything the world suggested to fix a problem that was never a problem. You were trying to cure a calling. You were trying to medicate an invitation. And nothing worked because nothing was supposed to work. You cannot solve a divine appointment with melatonin. I'm not saying that every person who wakes at 3 a.m. is being called by me. But if you are hearing this message right now, if your spirit is vibrating with recognition, if every word I am speaking is confirming something you have felt for months or years, but could never articulate, then yes, it is me. It has always been me. And the relief you feel right now is not because you are learning something new. It is because you are finally hearing someone say out loud what your spirit has been whispering all along. You are not crazy. You are not broken. You are not suffering from a medical condition that Google can diagnose. You are a person whose spirit is so alive, so attuned, so responsive to the frequency of heaven, that even in the deepest sleep, when every other sense is shut down, your spirit hears me knocking and opens the door. That is not a disorder. That is a gift. And it is time you started treating it like one. Now let me tell you what is going to happen in your life as you begin to respond to the 3 a.m. calling instead of fighting it. Your discernment is going to sharpen. The things that used to confuse you will become clear. Decisions that used to paralyze you will become simple. You will develop an ability to sense things before they happen, to read rooms with an accuracy that surprises even you, to know when someone is lying without being able to explain how you know. This is not a psychic ability. This is the fruit of spending consistent time in my presence during the most spiritually potent hour of the night. Your spirit is being trained by proximity to mine, and a trained spirit sees what untrained eyes miss. Your prayer life is going to shift from talking to hearing. Most of my children pray like they are leaving a voicemail. They speak their piece, say, "Amen," and hang up without ever checking for a response. But you are going to learn to listen. And what you hear in the 3 a.m. silence will guide your daytime steps with a precision that makes other people wonder how you always seem to know the right thing to do at the right time. You will not tell them about the 3 a.m. hours. Some assignments are too sacred for public consumption, but you will walk in the fruit of those hours every single day. Your peace is going to reach a level that does not make sense to the people around you. They will watch you go through the same storms they are going through and wonder why you are not falling apart. They will not understand how you remain calm when everything around you is chaos. They will ask what your secret is, and the answer will be simpler than they expect. You met with God at 3 a.m., and what He deposited in the darkness is sustaining you through the daylight. Your creativity is going to expand in ways you did not expect. Ideas will come to you that seem bigger than your experience. Solutions to problems will appear fully formed in your mind. You will see connections that others miss. You will have words for situations that leave other people speechless. This is not coincidence. This is the overflow of a mind that has been marinating in my presence during the most undistracted hour of the night. A mind that spends time with me does not just receive spiritual gifts. It receives an upgrade in every dimension: intellectual, emotional, creative, relational. Everything sharpens when you sharpen your spirit. And your relationships are going to transform. You are going to notice that you have less tolerance for shallow connection. The conversations that used to satisfy you will begin to feel empty. You will crave depth, honesty, vulnerability, because you have been experiencing the deepest form of connection possible: raw, unfiltered communion with your Creator at 3 a.m. And once you have tasted that depth, surface-level relationships lose their flavor. This is not you becoming antisocial. This is you becoming selective. And selectivity is a sign of spiritual maturity, not emotional distance. And here is something I need to prepare you for. As you begin to steward the 3 a.m. hour faithfully, some people will not understand. They will tell you it is unhealthy. They will tell you that you need to see a doctor. They will express concern that sounds like love, but functions as discouragement. Do not let their inability to understand your assignment become a reason to abandon it. Not everyone is called to the watch of the night. Those who are not called cannot comprehend those who are, and that is not their fault. It is simply not their assignment. Your assignment is between you and me. Protect it. If these words have put language to something you have been experiencing, but could not explain. Tell me in the comments, how long has God been waking you at 3 a.m.? I want to see the testimonies. I want the person who thought they were the only one to realize that there is an army of 3 a.m. watchmen spread across the earth, all being woken by the same God, all being called to the same sacred hour, all fighting battles that the daytime world knows nothing about. My child, as this message comes to a close, I want you to hear this with every fiber of your being. You are not broken. You are chosen. The thing you have been treating as a sleep disorder is actually a spiritual gift. The hours you have been losing are actually ours. You have been gaining intimacy with me, gaining spiritual authority, gaining a depth of relationship that most people will never experience because they sleep through the very hour I am most available. Tonight, I am going to wake you again. And for the first time, you will know why. You will not reach for your phone. You will not roll over in frustration. You will not count sheep or swallow pills. You will lie in the darkness, open your spirit, and whisper the words that heaven has been waiting to hear you say. God, I am awake. I am here. Speak to me, and I will speak. I have so much to tell you, my child. So much that has been building up over all those nights when you woke up, but went back to sleep before I could finish. Conversations that were interrupted, revelations that were cut short, plans I was unfolding before your eyes closed again. Tonight, we finish what we started. Tonight, you stay. And what I pour into your spirit between 3 and dawn will carry you further than anything you could build during the daylight hours on your own. I have been patient with you. Through every night you rolled over and ignored the nudge. Through every morning you complained about being tired, without realizing that tiredness was the cost of a divine encounter you slept through. Through every time you begged me for rest, when I was trying to give you something better than rest. I was trying to give you revelation. And revelation outlasts rest. Rest refreshes you for one day. Revelation redirects your entire life. You are a watchman. You are a prayer warrior. You are a 3 a.m. warrior chosen for the sacred hour. And I am proud of you. Not because you understood it right away. You did not. But because even when you did not understand, even when you thought something was wrong with you, even when you begged me for uninterrupted sleep, you kept waking up. You kept showing up. You kept lying in that darkness, wondering. And that wondering was faith. Imperfect, confused, frustrated faith. But faith nonetheless. And I honor every form of it. I want you to look back at every 3 a.m. you can remember and see it differently now. That night, you woke up crying and did not know why that was me, washing your spirit of a wound you did not have words for yet. That night, you woke up with someone's name on your heart. That was me dispatching you to pray a prayer that saved them from something they will never know about. That night, you woke up and felt a peace so deep, it almost scared you. That was me holding you, the way a father holds a child who has been running all day, and finally stopped long enough to be carried. Every 3 a.m. has a story, and every story ends the same way with a God who loves you too much to let you sleep through your own destiny. So stop fighting the calling. Stop resisting the sacred hour. Stop wishing for unbroken sleep when I am offering you unbroken communion with the Creator of the universe. What the world calls insomnia, heaven calls an invitation. And you have been invited to the most exclusive meeting on earth, the 3 a.m. encounter with the living God. From this night forward, 3 a.m. is no longer the hour you dread. It is the hour you are designed for. It is your sacred appointment. Your private audience with the King of Kings, your secret meeting that no one else knows about, that no one else is invited to, that produces fruit only you and I will ever trace back to its source. Other people will see the results in your life. They will see the wisdom, the peace, the clarity, the strength, but they will never know where it came from. And that is okay, because some of the most powerful things in the kingdom happen in secret. And the rewards I give in secret will eventually become visible for all the world to see. Accept the invitation. I will be there. I always am. Every night. Without fail. Without exception. Whether you show up or not, I will be sitting in the darkness of your bedroom at 3 a.m., waiting, hoping, loving, calling you by name. And the night you finally stop fighting and start listening will be the night your life begins to change in ways that daylight alone could never produce. Amen. My child, there is someone right now who has been waking at 3 a.m. for months, and they think they're going crazy. They have told no one about it because they are embarrassed. They have tried everything to stop it, and nothing has worked. And right now, they are one message away from understanding that they are not broken. They are called. You know who that person is. Their face is in your mind right now. Share this message with them. Send them the link. Do not explain it. Just send it. And let me do the rest. Let them discover for themselves that the God of the universe has been setting an alarm in their spirit every night because He has something to say that cannot wait until morning. And if this is the first message you have heard from this channel, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. The 3 a.m. calling is just the beginning. There are more messages coming that will explain what I have been doing in your life behind the scenes. And you are going to want to hear every one of them.